Hello and welcome back to Joel the Business. It has been a very cold, mixed weather. Some people might say, oh yes, we are in the beginning of February. Some days has been cold and some days has been quite reasonable. Let's call it reasonable weather. Anyway, I want to talk to you about my trip to Wokingham. I went to Wokingham to see a friend who's living in Basingstoke, and at the time I lived there for about 6 months in Basingstoke, and me and my friend, we would go to some pubs and have a good beer, an absolute, so you could say a bar crawl, but with meals, because we are in our 30s. We take our time and we learn from our mistakes, sort of thing. So, as I was walking into Wokingham, and I'm thinking it's such a nice, welcoming town. It's in a nice town. You go to the very first pub just outside the station, which is called the Station Pub. And you go in there, have a drink, and you have really good food. The service was good at times. It's brilliant. You can sit down and chill, have some good food, and sometimes you can go in there to watch the rugby matches or the football matches. Anything you want to do, you go in there to have a chat, maybe for your first date with the girl or whoever you fancy. You go there for a first date. And then when you get into the town centre of Wokingham, it is such a nice town. I mean, I didn't film that day because the weather was miserable, and I was a bit I was a bit annoyed because going on the train from Red Hill to Wokingham, it just feels like a pilgrimage journey. So you know what that journey sort of thing. So, yes, as I was living in Basingstoke for 6 months, and as I was working there, and I thought I really loved that town. I really loved that vibe. That it's a thriving town. You got a really, really nice shopping centre. It's like a mini Bluewater. If you have been to Bluewater in Kent, I suggest you should go there. But if you really, really want to go to an ultimate shopping centre or shopping mall, the American followers you might know, like when I went with my ex-girlfriend at the time, we went to Florida, and she said to me, this is the #1 shopping mall in Florida. And I was like, what, in Florida or in the whole of America? I'll let you decide on what some of that, but apparently that's a fact. It is the #1 shopping mall in Florida. As I was walking into that shopping mall, and I bought myself a pair of trainers, that Nike trainers. The currency at the time was cheap. It was cheap. And I remember going there, like at one of the last term of Barack Obama, the president, the coolest president around. So, yeah. So as I went there, we had some food, and the portion is really big. And I'm like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it, When you go to some, what I had was some like prawn noodle sort of thing, and it was so big, generous portion. When you go to I don't want to generic the restaurant or whatever it is. When you go to a place in the UK and they give you like 4 portions of prawns, and you're like thinking, that's not enough. Why are you leaving the rest of it with just special egg fried rice? I want the prawns, make it a generous portion. Anyway, so yeah, as I'm walking around in Basingstoke, going into some pubs, some nice beer, I like a lager. I mean, when I was around about maybe 16, 18 years old, I didn't really like beer, but because you have to, well, as some of you know who are already 18 years old, you will experience that first taste of the beer and you're thinking, it's not nice. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, because I am, as in my 30s now, I appreciate the taste of the beer and I can't wait for the taste of the beer, and I'm loving the beers now. Like, back when I was 18 years old, or maybe 16, or wherever it was, how old I was then, the beer didn't taste okay. I mean, it didn't taste, well, I didn't really like it, but at the end you just feel like you got to drink it. So, yeah, I love the beers. I love my beers. I mean, Guinness, the stout beer, is nice, but it's not as nice. I mean, well, do you know what? Guinness is nice. I mean, I'm loving the Italian beers at the moment, like, like a beer morata, some beers like that. So, yeah. But I'm in my hometown in Red Hill. When I look in the hometown of Red Hill, you can't really do a comparison between Red Hill and Basingstoke and Wokingham, because Wokingham and Basingstoke are far much nicer towns. It is absolute really nice, It is a town, when you go to Basingstoke, it is a town where you can take your first dates, and you can take your dates there shopping. Your ladies will love it. Go in there and go, yeah, I want to buy that dress. I want to go and have that. And you got the far more choices of restaurants and everything else, and cafes. So, yeah, you can grab yourself a beer and have a meal. And I like that. I like that social side of things. But I know we are in the beginning of February, and I don't know how much is it in this world, well, I mean, the whole rest of the world, that people were doing dry January. They say, oh, I'm doing dry January, and I'm thinking, well, are you going for the dry spell? Are you going for the dry spell because you haven't had anything? So, and then they explained to me, oh no, I'm just, not drinking any alcohol for a month. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I understand that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. And I just feel like I don't want to ask them any more questions, because I'm thinking they might want to give up for a month or give up for life for that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's what it is. So, yes. I mean, this video is a one take, unscripted. Hopefully I will edit it, but I'm thinking I'm going to leave it unscripted and see what you think about beers and stuff. I mean, I love my beers with food now. When in my young days, I used to go to a bar crawl and have like as much beers as you can. I remember my one trip to France skiing, and I was with a friend, and we had so many shots and some beers, and then I woke up the next morning feeling like that it was my first ever hangover. But anyway, I don't really want to talk to you about hangovers and hangovers and sort of thing. So what I really want to talk to you is about, the beers really suit to the business at the moment. I know the pubs in the UK, I don't know about America, I don't know about the rest of the world, because I need to do some travelling, and I will take you with me. So that's what it is. So yes, the pubs in the UK, especially the village pubs, you go maybe like in the summertime or when it's warm, you can sit outside the beer gardens, and maybe like when I went to Winchester, the city in just near Bath, and went to one pub, the Royal Oak pub, and apparently it had a real province of royalty going into that pub, way back in the medieval times and stuff. And they said it's the oldest pub in that city. So yeah, you feel like you've got to go in there, drink a beer, maybe some food. So yes, pubs are going through a very, very tough time at the moment, due to economic reasons, maybe due to the generational shift. I mean, for example, a lot of ladies who are my age already have children, and they would go to Lush shop, and now the people, the children in their 20s or wherever they are, they go to that. They don't want to go to that Lush shop. They prefer something else. And that's what I think we're experiencing, is the generational shift. And the people in their 20s prefer not to drink any alcohol now. And I'm thinking, I'm going to be reasonable. What I really want to say, feel like I don't really want to say it because I might offend some people. I just want to say to the people who are in their 20s, please, go to a pub. If it's soft drink, then go for a soft drink. If you like to have beer, go for it. Just go for it. And those people who are, going through their meal choices, please try it. Just try some meat, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'll see you all for the next one. I hope you're all having a great weekend. You're probably hearing the fan going because it's quite cold in the cabin. So, yeah, have a good one. Let's do this.